with Act Out, it was both of these treatments I came up with. I wanted something like I watch a lot of suspense movies and I'm really into that. So it's like, okay, I want to do this. I want to act in something like this and I want to create something like dramatic and just like have people like, what's going to happen? So with Act Out, it was just like one of those songs where you say, hey, you know, love can make you do crazy things. It was inspired by a thin line between love and hate with Martin Lawrence. And basically, you know, in the movie, she's a beautiful woman, you know, good job. You know, she has herself together and she's really she wants to find love and she's already scarred and she takes it seriously. And, you know, Martin says something he don't mean, you know, for those who haven't seen it, Martin says something he doesn't mean. And then she ends up turning into a fatal attraction. So that was kind of the message with Act Out. It's just like, you know, I caught the guy cheating. It was my birthday. He left me hanging. He was my man. And then I caught him. I'm driving. I caught him at some girl's house. And I said, oh, so that's where he was at. You know, that's who you were spending your time with. And basically, you know, I ended up kidnapping him and torturing him. So it was just Act Out was the message saying, you know, don't say things you don't mean. You got to be careful. You know, a lot of people can't handle that emotion. They can't take it because they're so bruised and so scarred. So if you're not serious about really truly being with somebody, I don't think you should play games. It was like one of those, you know, you mess with the wrong one. Be careful who you play with type thing. So at the end, there's gunshots, a gunfight between his side chick and me and him, and somebody dies. So on Grimey, which is my new record that just dropped, it dropped July the 17th. It's a continuation of that. So I know a lot of people were saying when they saw Act Out, they were like, oh, what happened? There's guns, there's gunshots, and I don't know who died. So I really felt like I gotta close this out. I can't like just go to another chapter musically that has nothing to do with the storyline that I didn't complete. I kind of like to finish stuff. So Grimey is just like getting rid of the evidence type situation. And it's more of a performance video, you know, while I'm in the act of getting rid of the evidence and dragging them out to the field and all that crazy stuff. It's like, even with that, I'm just performing the whole time and I'm saying you was grimy and you brought this on yourself, you know? So that's basically in a nutshell. So they would have to watch Act Out and, you know, Grimey to kind of understand the connection. Honestly, that record for me was Act Out. I think when I started Act Out, I realized, wow, okay, this is a vibe, this is a mood, and it's a side of me. It's a side of things that I've dealt with. It's the side of emotion that we all experience, that vulnerable moment. And I said, you know what? This is going to be the record that kind of staples the way the rest of the project is going to go for me from a vibe and emotional perspective. Because there's just so many sides, you know. You have the side that's super, you know, vulnerable. And then you have the side that's super, like, just all in love, like your first crush kind of feel. And I felt like that record was the intro. So I knew when I heard that, and then I started kind of recording some other songs after, and then it just kind of continued. And I said, oh my gosh, this project is really coming together. Because once I kind of broke into that side of me with Act Out, I think everything just kind of started coming together, and even things from a production standpoint just started making sense. So it wasn't planned. It definitely started with Act Out. That moment that I felt like took me from like here to here was, honestly, it had to be Lois Lane for me. That was my second single, and it really, I feel like it opened me up introduction wise into the industry. It kind of paved the way for me. It was a side of me, and even that is a relationship song. And I was like, wait, am I the relationship girl? You know? And I'm like, I feel like that's R&B. R&B speaks to heartbreak. It speaks to love. It speaks to sex and so many things that we actually feel. You know, a lot of people have their moments where we want to listen to trap and we want to listen to rap, but then it's crazy because in my playlist it's like I flip from that crazy trap and then I go into like some smooth, slow R&B, and I just feel like for me, Lois Lane was that point where I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely where I want to be at. The real R&B speak to people's lives. And when people started coming up to me and telling me how my record, you know, they went to sleep to it, it helped them make it through certain things in their life. And oh, girl, I feel where you're coming from. I knew. I said, okay, I'm gonna be the voice. I'm gonna be the voice for y'all. So that was the point for me. They can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Porcelan Music. That's Porcelan. And this interview, all my future interviews, anything I'm doing on my website is porcelanmusic.com.